beautiful glam gals. Thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please be sure to click that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post new content. So today I am in kind of sort of a quarantine with the whole coronavirus going on. So this week I spent the week working from home as much as I could. So now it's Saturday and I am just bored. I've been home all week, and so now I'm just going to take this time and I'm going to plan some makeup. Whenever I started this, I had no clue where I was going to go with it, but I knew that I wanted to go big and bold. So if you're sent home and on self-quarantine and you can't go anywhere, but you have a slew of makeup, just sit back and have fun and let's do some makeup together. So today I did some Merlot as my dark color. I have Dusty Rose as my mid shade. And then I put on some awesome iconic lashes from House of Lashes. And again, all of my makeup that I'm using today is Mary Kay. So if you have any questions about any of the things that I did, be sure to comment below. I'm always here to help. One of my passions in life is to teach women and make all women of all ages feel gorgeous and beautiful and confident in their own skin. So again, I'm going to stop rambling and we're going to get on to the tutorial. So let's do this. I'm going to start off with my face primer. This is Mary Kay's foundation primer with sunscreen. Next, I'm going to prime my eyes with Mary Kay eye primer. So I just take a tiny bit onto like a concealer brush. You don't need a whole lot, just a little dot. And spread it around like so. Since Mary Kay's eye primer doesn't have pigment to it, I like to go in with a concealer over top, just so I will bring my eyelids to the same color as my skin, and it'll really make my eyes pop. You can absolutely skip the eye primer part. It is just an added measure to keep all of your product in place and keep it from creasing. So I just go in with a tiny touch on my eyes like so. And then again with my same concealer brush, I just come in here and spread it around. Once I do that, I just go in with a nice fluffy brush and pick up some of my translucent powder and use this just to set and dry the concealer. Once I get my eyes primed, then I work on my eyebrows. To get started on my eyes, I like to go in with my lightest shade, and this is Biscotti. If y'all have watched any of my other videos, you know that my favorite color to set my eye primer and also is my inner eye color or inner corner of my eye is the Biscotti, because I love the brightness of the center of the eye. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to tap this into place. Mainly right there in the center of my eye on the inner corner. And in the center. After I have my base shade on of my Biscotti, then I go in with my crease color. Today we are using my favorite crease color, of course, which is Hazelnut. So I'm just going to pick up some of the product on the end of my brush. Knock off that excess. And then I'm starting on the outside and working my way in to the inner corner. And I'm doing it right in my crease. And I'm starting off using small circles. As you can see, I took the crease color and I started on the outside, worked my way around the curve of my crease. And then when I got about halfway in, I come straight across to right in line with my eyebrow, right into this, underneath of this bone right here. All right, so I come straight across once I come around the curve of my of my crease. Okay, once you get that color in, I'm going to switch it up. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back it up a little bit. The brush that I used for my transition color, the Hazelnut, was the Sigma E25, the blending brush. It's one of my favorites. Next up, I'm going to grab the Sigma E27, the detail blending brush. So this is the brush that I'm going to use to come in with my color. The color that we're going to use for our lid is this color right here. This is Dusty Rose. It is a mauve pink color. Take my brush, get some product on it, knock off that excess. And for this one, I want to come in right in the center of my lid. And I'm just going to tap this in for right now to start, because most of my product is on my brush right now. And if you tap, it also helps with fallout and the flyaway of the product. So come in first and just kind of tap that in right in the center where the iris of my eye is. After I put it on my lid right in the center, then I like to open my eyes and look straight ahead. And if you're like me and you have hooded eyes, then most of your color is going to go up in the back of your head. So in order for you to see that color, you have to bring it above your crease. So I like to open my eyes, look straight ahead, and kind of just tap right there and bring that color up to that point. So now you see I got this tap up here. So then I just kind of bring this color right down from right there. That way when my eyes are open, you can see the color of my shadows. It's not all about what your makeup looks like when your eyes are closed. So make sure that you're opening your eyes to take a look at what you're doing to make sure that it's really popping and you can see what you're doing. After I get that color on, then I like to go to a nice fluffy blending brush, clean blending brush. And this is the Effortless Crease brush by It Cosmetics. And it's just nice and fluffy. And I can use this to really buff out the edges. So I come and I just do swirl marks very lightly and I'm holding my brush at the very end, and I'm very lightly using the bristles to blend out that edge where my color meets to the bottom of my eyebrow. I'm also going to come into this edge where the color is meeting the lighter shade of my shadows, and just doing swirl marks to help buff that and blend it together. Okay, see, now I don't have any harsh line. So now do that same step for the other side. Now comes the fun part. I'm going to go in with my deepest shade. This is one of my absolute favorite colors. This is Merlot, and it is so pigmented. So be really careful whenever you dip in here and you go to apply it. Make sure you start out light and you can build your way to the darkest level that you want. So I am taking my Precision Firm Blender, my Sigma E42. And I'm just going to pick up some of my Merlot and brush off that excess. And I'm going to start on the outside corner, and I'm going to do a little trick, and I'm going to use the end of my primer tube, and I'm going to hold it right over here, and this is going to essentially give me that look of a wing without using eyeliner to achieve that. Okay, so whenever you want to do this look, or whenever you want to use this tip, you want to continue the curvature and upwardness of your bottom lash line. So if you can look, you see that the bottom lash line starts going up, and if you follow that imaginary line, it'll hit your tail of your eyebrow. Okay, so I'm just going to use my tube here and kind of connect my bottom lash line and my eyebrow together right like that. And then look down and then touch your product right there. And you see I have like this wing effect with the tube of my primer tube. So after I get that like base right there, then I just come in here and blend it in towards the center. And then we're just gonna take your color and connect this top piece over and make a triangle on the outer corner of your eye. This is called the outer V. All right, so I just kind of start out here on the outside and blend my way in and then fill in the center. And I do this with my eyes open sometimes, just so I can make sure that the product and the color is going where I want it to go. Once I get that base kind of put on there, then I go in and shut my eye, look down, and fill in that outer V. Then I'm going to pick up a little bit more product and I'm going to sweep this above my crease. Just above my crease, because again, I have hooded eyes, so the color goes in. So if I did it in my crease, then whenever I open up my eyes, you wouldn't be able to see the color. So I go right above the crease, right below my brow bone, and I'm bringing this color in and sweeping it and fading it to the center. All right, and then I'm going to look down and I'm kind of going to like fill this in just a smidge, right like that. So I go back to my big fluffy brush that I used to blend my dusty rose color into my transition color and blend out those harsh lines. I'm going to do the same thing with my Merlot. I'm just going to come out here and do swirl marks to really blend out any harsh lines and make it really nice and smoky. And throughout the process of you doing your eyeshadows, you always want to like do a step and then take a step back from the mirror and look at yourself, just to make sure that what you're doing isn't got harsh lines or just looks silly. So I always like to take a step back and look at it as a whole picture almost after every single step. And especially whenever you're going bold and dark, you really want to take a step back and look to see if what you're doing is consistent and looks good. So I'm just taking my brush and I'm just going pretty much all over my eyelid and blending all of those colors together in swirl marks and what I call windshield wipers. Just swirl it around and really blend those colors in. And this is when there's like nothing on your brush. It's a clean brush. It's totally used for blending. So you just want to blend around those colors to make sure that there's no harsh lines between any of them. Now that I have my other eye done with my darker shade, if you feel as though the pigment, the color is way too high, then we can easily fix this with a clean brush, a clean fluffy brush. Here I am using the Absolute Shadow Brush by It Cosmetics, and I'm going to go into that Biscotti, which is that lightest shade. I'm going to go into that, pick some up on my brush, and I'm just going to come in right underneath of my brow and sweep this color right there, just so it's not so high and looks like you're trying to be like Mimi. I don't know if you all remember who Mimi is, but Mimi was from the Drew Carey Show, and she had like big green and blue eyeshadow that was awful, but it was Mimi style. So, all right, once you do that, you kind of like step back, take a look in the mirror, make sure that it is looking like you're wanting it to look. I'm thinking so far so good. I'm also going to take a touch of that Biscotti and put it like right here on the inner corner, because again, I just like really bright inner corners of my eye. Okay, there's that. So now what you have done to your eyelids, you also want to do to your bottom lash line. So I'm going to go in with the brush that I used for my Dusty Rose, which was the mauve pink color, and I'm going to put some product of it on the very tip of my brush. I'm then going to take my mirror and I'm going to look up, and I'm going to come in right here and put this along the entire bottom lash line. So we are just smoking out the bottom lash line and doing exactly with the same colors that we did on the top lid. After I have my Dusty Rose shade, then I go back in with my Precision Blender brush with the darkest shade, the Merlot. Sounds amazing right now. Okay, so I'm just going to go in and I'm going to do this on the outer half of my eyelid, my lower lash line. So use this color to connect your wing right here in the outer corner, and then bring it in to about halfway. Next up, I'm going to do eyeliner, and my eyes will look a whole lot better once I get my face done and also throw on those lashes. They won't look so like, oh my God, what is she doing? All right, so I'm going to use my liquid eyeliner pen, and I'm going to come in like right at the lash line. And I am laying my pen on the side and starting right in the middle and working my way up towards the outside. And you'll also notice that I didn't go all the way into my tear ducts. I'll do that once I get my lashes on. All right, let's get some color on my face. Okay. So I start off with my foundation and then I do my concealer. So I am going in with my Luminous 3D foundation from Mary Kay. This is in the color Beige in 150. So the trend right now is glowy, dewy looking skin, and the Luminous foundation is an absolute must whenever you're going for that dewy look. So I like to just go in and put a little bit of product on my sponge here and tap it around like so. Whenever you get around your eye, this is where you can kind of clean that up. And I go right in against where I had that wing effect going. It goes over any sort of shadow that you brought down past that line. And then I go in right up underneath of my eye a bit. If you have large pores like I do and you use a foundation primer, if you swipe, then you're pretty much lifting up that primer that you just filled in all of those fine lines, wrinkles, and large pores. So you're swiping that right out of those pores. So if you're stippling, you're pressing that right back into those pores and you're helping the appearance of your pores look smaller. So stippling is definitely key when doing your makeup. And as you can see, I kind of sort of like swiped away a little bit of my concealer that I had going on right there. So I'm just gonna go in with a tiny little touch right on top of my little friend here. And I used the lightest touch to touch that, and then once I get it kind of spread out, then I like to go around it to kind of blend it out and around the rest of my foundation. Why does that booger gotta be like right in the middle of my forehead? Like right in between my eyes. Ugh. Once I get my foundation on, then I like to come in with my color corrector, and this brightens up and takes away any blue that I have in my under eyes. So I'm going to do one side first just so you can see the difference, even though I do have some foundation on underneath of the other side. But this just really brightens up your eyes. So I'm going to touch this right here. And then I'm going to go in with a clean concealer brush. And I'm going to stipple. Again, I'm not going to swipe and drag because then you're going to leave brush marks. But I'm going to stipple this color right up against my eyeshadow that I have on my bottom lash line and right up into my tear duct right there. And then I go back in with my sponge, the little tip part, and I'm just going to, if you look the other direction from where you're trying to use your sponge, look in the opposite direction. And that helps you get as close to your eye as you can without making your eyes water and stuff. So just get right up in there, like so, and stipple that to where if you did have any brush marks, that they just instantly disappear. So I don't know if you guys can see how much brighter my inner corner bottom under eye is. It's just, it really takes away any blue that I have and makes it just perfect. I can't, even on days that I, like when I go to work for my day job, I rarely wear any sort of eye makeup. But I do not leave the house without putting this under my eyes and some mascara on my lashes. That is like the two most important things to me. Okay, so now I have bright under eyes. The blue has been canceled out with the peachy tone of my under eye corrector. And now I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of touch of my, of my concealer. And this will just brighten up my under eye. I do right there, and then I kind of come down and do a couple of dots right there. I come over top of my Cupid's bow and on my chin, and then I'm also going to draw a line right here and then fan this. So this is almost going to also serve as my highlighter. I like to use my sponge for this, and I just, again, stipple. And when I do the under eye area, I'm going to work in a triangle look. That way it helps brighten up my top cheekbone too. Now that I have my base on, I am going to set my face. I'm going to at least set my T-zone. All right, so once I get my base on, I then like to go in and set my T-zone and my under eyes. I'm going to be setting my cheeks and like the outside edges of my face with bronzer, which is a powder product. So you're not really wanting to do too much powder products over top of your cream products, because then you're going to start getting into the cakiness. So I just like to, where I know I'm going to be applying powder products, then that is where I'm going to not set with my translucent powder. So I start off with my under eyes. This is a soft blend concealer brush by Sigma. It is the F64. I pick up some translucent powder and I start on my inner corner right here and I just tap it out. I'm not swirling, I'm not taking it and sweeping it, I'm tapping it. Just because I don't want any sort of brush marks left under my eyes. So that's my under eyes. I am also not a fan of baking. I think baking under your eyes is like the worst thing that you can do unless you have like the most smoothest, non-wrinkliest skin ever. There might be people that argue this against me. It's fine. Like I said, you do you. I'm just explaining my opinion on it. And I don't like to do baking, mainly because it will create texture, and texture that you don't even have will appear. It will draw out the moisture, and any sort of fine lines and wrinkles that you have under your eyes, they will just be magnified if you bake under your eyes. That's my opinion. Y'all can take it and leave it. Do what you want. But I do not like to bake under my eyes. Okay, once I do that, then I'm going to go in with my fluffy powder brush. And I like to dip it into my translucent powder and then tap it in the lid. This like knocks off the excess, but it doesn't waste your excess because now it's in your lid and you can go back into it. So I start off with like my forehead, right in the center of my forehead. I then come down to my nose and then down to my chin. So now I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to kind of squeeze it like this. And I'm not going to be adding any sort of powder products right in here. So I'm going to set this area right here. All right. Because now I'm going to use my blush, my contour, and my bronzer to set the rest of my face. Now I'm going to go into my contour. And this is Latte. I am just going to use a contour brush. I don't even know, this is the RT301. I got this at probably Ulta. I might have ordered it online. I've never heard of this brand before, but it is like a rectangle shape. The bristles are short and they're pretty stiff. So this is really good to get that specific spot that you're looking for to contour. So I dip my product, knock off the excess, and whenever I'm contouring, I am following this top part of my ear down to the corner of my mouth. And I'm placing the product right there. And I am only coming in and blending it down to where the outer corner of my eye, this invisible line right here. So I do not want to come past that. I do not want to meet my cheek. My mouth. This is just a standard contour that is good for any face shape. All right, so when I bring it right here, then I kind of like press and push up to blend it up. And like I said before, this is going to be a bold, dramatic look, obviously, if you can tell with the eyes. So I want the contour of my face to kind of be a little bit more on the bold side as well. As you can see, that instantly gave me like this cheekbone that just kind of like pops in more defined face. After I do my cheeks with my contour, I then like to dip my product and come in right here at my jawline, and then I come all the way up below my earlobe right there, and this is just going to really define that jawline. You're just going to define your jawline, and then you're just going to take it and drag it down to blend it into your neck. All right, and then when it comes to the center, I'm going to take my product and I'm going to put it right here, right on the fatty part of under my chin, and get rid of my turkey neck almost kind of instantly, at least while I'm looking forward anyway. And I place it right there and I just blend it down my neck as well. And then of course do the other side of my jawline. After I do the bottom part of my head, then I'm going to do the top part. I like to keep it on the outside of my hairline here, like kind of where the arches of my eyebrows are, come up and blend it down. I don't like to do the middle so much, especially if you have a round face. You don't want to do the middle because what you're doing with contour is you are just like pushing back and shadowing stuff that you don't want to be so noticed. If you put it at the top of your hairline here and you have a round face, it's just going to make your face look even shorter and more round. If you have on the opposite spectrum of that, if you have a really long face, then you do want to put it on the top here, because then that's going to shorten your long face. So again, this is a contour good for any face shape. So I just come out here and come right against my hairline like so, and come down the temples a little bit, and then I blend it down into my forehead. If you so believe that you need to contour your nose, then you're going to want to get like a eyeshadow brush or something. So this is just a little fluffy brush, and pick up some of your product and come right here on the outside bridge of your nose. You want to follow that bone, and you want to kind of follow this natural shadow that starts up here, and you want to bring it all the way down to the tip. I, on the other hand, am not somebody who contours my nose a whole lot. I just throw some bronzer on it to give it a little bit of dimension and depth or whatever, but I don't usually contour my nose. But since we're going bold and big, and we're in coronavirus quarantine, let's have some fun and play. So I just kind of thin out my nose like that, and then I kind of do the tip. And then now your nose is contoured, right? Okay. Yeah. After I do my contour, then I'm going to go in with my big fluffy brush here that I use for my bronzer. Color of it is Gilded Glow. So I just kind of like dip my brush into it, get some product on it, and kind of sweep it around the areas that I put my contour in. I do along all the outside edges of my face. I do my chin and my neck. This just adds that little bit extra pop of color and glowing that that you kind of lose in the winter months. So I really like and enjoy bronzer, especially in the winter. And I love it in the summertime because if I'm not getting a tan like I want, or my face doesn't tan like my body does, then it also warms up your face that way too. After I have finished my contour and my bronzer, then I'm going to go in with my blush. This is my favorite blush. This is Wineberry, and so it is more on the purpley cool side. I don't know, I just think it looks best for my skin tone and I love it. So I pick up a little bit on my brush, and these are very pigmented, so I go in light. And whenever I go in, I start on the outside of the apples of my cheeks. So you smile to figure out where the fattest part of your cheek is. And I like to stay on the outside of it. And I sweep up just above that contour. Okay, so now that I have done that, I then like to go in with my fluffy brush, and again, just like with my eyes, I'm using my big fluffy brush just to kind of blend everything together. So you just come over here and you're doing circular swirl motions, and you're just going to blend to make sure that those colors kind of melt together and you don't have any harsh lines. Before I do my lashes, I'm going to do my lips. But before I do my lips, I'm going to put glue on my lashes. So today's lashes are going to be the same ones I used in my last video. They are House of Lashes Iconic. And I have something in my eye. So these babies are about like $8 or so a piece, but you can wear them so many times, like probably like 20 times or something. Just make sure that you're cleaning them after you take them off. You're getting all that glue off. But as you can see, they're very, very fluffy and bold. All right, for my lip, I am going to be doing something that I've never done. So bear with me. Let's see if this works. Today, I have dark chocolate lip liner, and then I have naturally buff lipstick. All right, so I am wanting to achieve a look where the outside of my lips are darker and it kind of fades to a nude. We'll see if this works. If it doesn't, then you'll never see this segment. Okay, let's see how this works, how this goes. So I have dark chocolate. It's a lip liner pencil. And I am going to start by making an X right in the center of my lips and to accentuate my Cupid's bow. right like so. And then I'm going to follow the outline of my lip all the way down on each side, and then also in the center. This is where you learn whether or not your lips are the same shape on each side. Okay, that kind of looks scary. I'm hoping though, once I add the nude, that it will kind of blend and be nice and good. I think what I'm gonna do to start off is kind of blot my lips to get that lip liner like not so bold. Okay. Now, let's take our lipstick. Well, let's see how this goes. Okay, now I have my lipstick on. I'm going to grab my lip brush. This is Lori Hogg's lip brush, and I'm just going to use it to kind of like blend that dark color and lipstick together. Okay, I think I achieved the look I was going for. I've never done that before, but I think I like it. I think I like it. Okay. Now for my lashes, and this I'll have to do off camera just because I gotta get close to my mirror, and yeah, it's a hot mess. Okay, got those suckers on. Now I want to go back into my eyeliner, and I want to kind of extend the lash band that appears as like an eyeliner. I want to take and extend that to the inner corner of my eyelid. So I'm just going to touch it like right up inside of there, right like that. And all the way to where it meets the band of the fake eyelashes. Because the band of the eyelashes almost looks as though it's an eyeliner. So I just want to make sure that I extend that line down to where it looks like now I have eyeliner all across my entire lid. After I do that, then I go in with mascara, and this will meld my lashes in with the fake lashes. It'll also get rid of any sort of white powder or anything that was on my natural lashes, like makeup and stuff that was on my natural lashes that is causing any sort of disruptance right there. Once I do that, then I do my bottom lash line. Now my bottom lash line, I don't do a whole lot on. I just kind of touch them and smudge it out. All right, ladies. I have finished my Glam bold look. I'm now going to attempt to do something a little bit with this hair, throw on a different shirt, and do a final look. All right, ladies, wardrobe change and my makeup is done. My look is complete, and yeah, so I hope you followed along on my tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing this look. It's a lip color that I've never done before. I've never attempted to put brown lip liner on my lips, so that was a bit intimidating, but I do feel as though the look definitely all come together, because also if you're doing a really bold eye like I did now, you don't really want a really bold lip. You kind of want to balance out your face to where only one thing is getting all the attention. So I wanted all the attention on my eyes this time, and I just wanted to go big, bold, and glam. So this is the look that come out, and thank you guys for going along with me and just watching. So I thank you guys so much. So be sure to click that subscribe button and also that notification bell, so whenever I post new content, you guys are the first to be notified. Be sure to check out any of the other videos that I have uploaded on my channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Thanks again, guys.